Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name is Astøn, and I'll be your host for today's episode of Lost Movie News. Now, before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share so your friends can see. Now, let's jump to the first story of the day, which happens to be Ghost of War. So, Ghost of War basically signed Theo Rossi to star in one of the roles. And if you don't know who Theo Rossi is, he's from like Luke Cage. He played Glasses. In Sons of Anarchy, he played Juice. So these are some of the bigger roles that he's had. I don't remember too many movie roles that he's actually played in, but as far as cinema, this is all we really have from his repertoire, is Juice and Glasses. And I liked him in both roles, honestly. Not so much near the end of Sons of Anarchy. I didn't like Juice, but as far as that, I did like him in Luke Cage and in Sons of Anarchy. Now, with that being said, he's basically been cast to play a battle-hardened army soldier who in World War II is basically told to guard this area, and after he's killing so many, he's used to killing Nazis, but they're all God-fearing individuals, which starting to get attacked by paranormal activities, and not paranormal activity, but paranormal things like ghosts, and they're starting to freak out. They think it's a sign from God that they're doing the wrong thing, and I'd love to see how this movie turns out. I'd love to see Theo get some more acting roles or whatever when he's not just playing like a gangster or a thug or something. I'd love to see how it turns out as when he's playing like an army soldier whose fear of religion is basically starting to haunt him while he still has to deal with his responsibility to the country and what he has to do. So I'd love to see how this plays out. I'd love to see how he does in this film. And hopefully it turns out to be a good film. Now moving on to our next story of the day, Wonder Woman. Now this story probably takes no one by surprise. Wonder Woman finally has its rating and it's going to be PG-13. So this is going to be the next film out the gate for DCEU, and they need this one to be a hit. They desperately need this one to be a hit because Suicide Squad didn't do too good with critics or film fans coming in, and Batman vs Superman also didn't do too well with obviously didn't do good at all with critics, and it didn't do too well with fan reviews. So Wonder Woman has to be a hit coming out the gate for them. This is gonna be like their third misstep if Wonder Woman comes out and it's not up to standard. Beyond that, it's the first focused film on a woman, like a superhero woman. So we definitely need this one to be good. Gal Gadot looks good in all the promotional material we've seen so far. I'm having high hopes for this. The Comic-Con trailer was amazing. There's not too much I see going wrong for this film. Just the reports of sometimes it's good, some of it's good, some of it's bad, and hopefully this film is good. We need this film to be good, especially for the DCEU. I don't know what they're going to do if this film isn't good. They might actually really consider going back to the drawing board and relaunching this universe, especially with Ben Affleck not being happy on the Batman movie. If this film isn't good, they need to consider just going back to the drawing board and relaunching DCEU. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the point where we're getting to with the DCEU films. They need to get better. So with that being said, we're moving on to our next segment of the day called Flashback. And on this segment, we go back 10 years today to see what movies came out this week. So the movie that stuck out the most to me is I Think I Love My Wife. Now, I remember when this film came out, not too many people liked it. I actually enjoyed this film. This was starring Chris Rock. He was a businessman, and he was I don't think he was having troubles with his wife, but he was just getting to that point in a relationship with his wife. They've been married for a few years, and he was starting to be this is what I really want, whatever. And he has a chance to cheat, and he ended up doesn't cheat. He ended up going back home with his family. So what else do we have? We have Dead Silence. I remember this poster, but I don't honestly remember the film. So this film, this poster looks like a little killer doll, clown, whatever. It looks very familiar. I just don't remember the film actually. And Premonition is the third film that came out this week, and this one does nothing for me. I have no recollection of this film, at all. I don't remember anything about this film. Now, Moving on to our next story, video on demand at a sooner time. So this is one of those stories that's been going around the industry for a while now, and I've always been against it. I think it's going to ruin the movie experience. If not, like people are already complaining about the tickets being expensive. All this is going to do is make the tickets even more expensive because we know movie theaters only make a third of the money of movie tickets. So with that being said, if they're taking movies out of the theater sooner, that's going to affect movie tickets. Are going to skyrocket them up. We know they tried to do this device a couple of years ago where same night a movie came out, you had the option to rent it on this little device that was pirating proof, and it was like $50 just to rent the film, which is very impractical to me because like if I go on a date right now to the movie theaters, I could spend about 50, and that's for 2 movie tickets, popcorn, and everything, and that's just me though. So going on something like $50 just to be at home watching. Like I actually enjoy the movie theater. I love the big screen. I love the surround sound and everything. I love seeing the movies with an audience. And I love interacting with people about how I enjoyed the film, what parts I didn't like while we're walking out of the film. Now, all of that you're going to lose when you have the video demand. Like if you're like me, you're going to lose that portion of the film if you go with this video on demand skip route. And I think their new model now is trying to get away from that device where you pay $50 a day. Now is basically trying to get the film into the home sooner. So basically, 7 out of the 8 studios are trying to go this route. Disney seems to be the only studio who's not really interested in getting their movies on video on demand sooner. And it makes sense. You think about it, Disney is making stupid money inside the studios. They had the biggest year last year. They made like $3 billion. That's off of movies last year. So for them to move their movies on video on demand wouldn't be practical for them because everyone knows like Blu-ray and DVD sales are dwindling right now. Like that's not where most of the money comes from. It comes from merchandising. It comes from really merchandising is where most of the money comes from. And most movie theaters make their budget back from a movie within like the first week of the film. That's the hope for most movie theaters anyway, at least in America wise. So once the movie comes out for a week in America, they normally make their budget back. And well, I want to say a week. It's actually 10 days. The first 10 days in America, a movie normally makes their money back. So anything beyond that, especially all the overseas money and everything, it's just income for them. So I understand why WB is trying to push, oh, after 17 days we can actually let you guys rent the movie at home for $30. And that's $30 just to rent a movie. Some people are going to be enticed by this because it's definitely going to be cheaper than going to the movie theater. Like I said, I normally spend about $50 when I go on a date. And now you can just sit at home, chill, spend $30. You at home, you get the cooked food you have at home. You have whatever else you want to eat at home or do it while you're at home also. But at the same time, I feel like these are going to skyrocket movie tickets because there's some people, I think it was either Fox or Universal. They want it after 30 days, and they're going to do a $50 rental fee. Now I can go to the movie theaters for $50, like honestly, and I can if you just wait, because right now most movies after 90 days, you can buy it for about 20. So waiting 2 more months is like you save money, but at the same time, most people want to see the film at the same time. All their fans are watching it, all their friends are watching the film, so they might just pitch up that $50 because they don't want to deal with all the people in the movies or all the teenager kids making noise while you're trying to watch a film, whatever, crying babies. I completely understand that, but I'm not that part. Like, I'm not that that generation of people who wants to get that one. I'm more about being in the theater. I definitely enjoy watching film with other people. So I just feel like this is bad for the industry, and it's definitely going to rise up the film. Because if I just wait 2 weeks, I don't have to deal with people, I'll probably just throw out the $30 and rent it at home. Now, for me, like I wouldn't do it, but there's definitely people out there who just rent the movie, and that's taking people from going to the movies, which and then are going to make the movie theaters want to raise their tickets up so they can actually make profit off of the films. Because once again, the studios are making 66% of a movie ticket. So And with less people being in the theater, it means be less popcorn sold, less soda sold, less candy sold. They're losing money left and right. This is definitely a bad movie for the bad move for the movie theaters. Great move for the studios because they'll just basically make all the profit off of it. But this is definitely a bad. I think this is a bad idea overall. Like they should come up with some type of way, a different way to figure this out because this is definitely going to skyrocket movie tickets, which in turn will make less people go to the movies. And even though I don't know if people notice, even though movies are making more money nowadays, less people are actually going to the movies, which is in part to the inflation of movie tickets and whatnot. Now, that's really all we have on this story. Like, let me know how your opinion is. Would you rather wait the 17 days, pay the $30, or wait the $30 and pay the $50? I just feel like I'd rather be in a studio with people. But let me know how you feel about that. Would you rather be in a movie theater with people? Or would you rather just spend the extra money and just stay home and watch it? So, with that being said, our next story of the day is Battle of the Sexes. So Battle of the Sexes is going to be starring Steve Carell and Emma Stone. And I love both of these actors. So actor and actress, I love both of them. This film is due out September 22nd. That's the release date for it. And I'm actually excited for this film. Like, basically, this film is based on an event that took place in 1973. It was a big tennis match between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King. So, I don't know, like, I wasn't born for this, but I think this would be a nice little concept because at the time, Billie Jean was based, I think she's ranked number 2, and Bobby Riggs was number 1. So, them going against each other was something new. It's never been seen before. There was a lot of drama on the court and off the court. It was so many shenanigans going on. And it's crazy to think that back in the day that they actually let this go on. Because I would never see today like a male basketball player and a female basketball player going 1-on-1. You're just not going to see it today. Or even like in tennis, you're not going to see it today. They're not going to blur those lines or anything. And I'm glad they're actually like showing the story of what went behind it. The directors of this film are going to be a married couple, be Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris. And moving on to our next segment, buy or sell. So our first topic for the buy or sell segment will be Beauty and the Beast. Now Disney is they're not really considering doing any spin-offs, but they're not considering doing sequels, but they're definitely considering either a spin-off or a prequel. Now, what do I think about this? I'm glad they learned from through the Looking Glass, they realized that Alice through the Looking Glass that wasn't a good idea to force sequels to these films. So I'm glad they finally learned that. But I don't know what kind of prequel will we actually see for Beauty and the Beast because we just seen everything. Like, what prequel do we need? In the film, they had a nice little segment where they broke down why Beast was turned into a beast and everything else. There's no more explanation we need on why Beast was a beast. Gaston, maybe why Gaston acted like that. I don't really know why we would need that story. Everything in the story was good enough. I don't know why we would need a Beauty and the Beast prequel. Now, a spinoff I can kind of see. I don't know, will a fool maybe Gaston to see where he went. Well, Gaston. Spoiler, if you haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, is dead. So I don't know. Maybe something like that, or either like try to explain it like, oh, when Gaston fell, some type of magic thing happened to him. He was turned into a beast and somewhere else, and he had to find true love. You could do something like that, but I don't really see that working either. So overall, I'm gonna have to sell this story. I'm not really understanding what Disney is doing. They're basically just trying to milk money out of this property, and I completely understand that. They're gonna make a lot of money off of merchandise, and the movie alone, I think, did 173 last weekend. So there's no reason to force unneeded material out of this property. I mean, no one's asking for a spinoff for Beauty and the Beast. No one's looking for a prequel. We got all the information we needed on the backstory of Beast, Belle, her father, what happened to her mom. We know everything. We know everything that happened. There's no reason for us to actually need a prequel or a spinoff. The story was well contained. It was ended well. There's no reason to do that. Like, there's no reason to have a spinoff, in my personal opinion. So me personally, I'm going to have to sell this story. Moving on to our next story of the day, Ghostbusters. They're expanding their universe. They're trying to do like a whole shared universe for their properties, and their next film is going to be an animated version, which for some reason is still going to be in the main universe. I don't understand how that's going to work. Why you're going to mix animation with the actual live action universe? I think it's dumb. I think it might be as dumb as with Sony with the two Spider-Man movies. Like, there's no reason to make. Even though I want to see a Miles Morales movie, there's no reason to make it animated. They could have waited until the Marvel Universe got further down the line and then introduce Miles as a live action version. Or just as dumb as that on Venom movie with no Spider-Man. Have you guys learned from Gotham? A Batman show with no Batman. So you're going to make a Spider-Man movie with no Spider-Man. It doesn't make sense. I think it's dumb. I wasn't that big of a fan of the newest Ghostbusters. I know it definitely didn't make its budget back. I think it definitely didn't make its budget back. But you're still like pressing forward with this universe. I'll definitely be down to see another like live action version, see how they do it, see how they tie that in with the cast that we just seen last summer. But as far as this animated version, I don't want to see it. I don't know why they're trying to tie that into their universe. Maybe a new set of Ghostbusters, like located maybe like in New York. I think they were in New York, so in California next time. That'd be something cool to see. I would definitely check that out. Beyond that, though, like I'll buy them expanding the live action portion, but I'm going to sell them actually having the animated version within the live universe. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. It sounds like a bad idea. They need to just let that go, because if they want to use those characters in the real like live action universe, now they're going to have to cast them, or they're going to have to pre-cast them for the animated version, and then let these voice actors know, like, look, you're basically going into the main universe too, in sometime in the future. Or it can go vice versa. You can have like the live action go into the animated version, which is probably more likely for them to do. But I'm hoping they don't do this. Just keep the live action separate from the animated. Don't even need the animated right now. Keep the animated on TV or something. Make cartoons with it. You don't really need it. So with that being said, it's going to be a sale on the animated portion of it, but I buy the live action version of it. Now for our final story of the day. The Transformers, they released some new motion pictures, motion like posters, and I'm finally excited. Hot Rod is finally here. He's been like my favorite since the beginning. So we finally got Hot Rod. We see Squeaks like squeaking in. We see Optimus. We see Bumblebee. We see Barricade. One thing I didn't like about Barricade's poster, I'll actually play it right now. Barricade poster had this little 5-finger ring that said "Punish," and I honestly did not like that. I don't understand why they're doing the 5-finger ring on a Transformer. It's kind of as bad as a Transformer peeing on a dog. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, there's no reason for them to have this. I'm hoping that was on Michael Bay thing. Like, oh yeah, give him a 5-finger ring. No, do not give him a 5-finger ring. Just have him with regular hands. Like, he could have had his fist out or something. You didn't need the 5-finger ring. Beyond that, though, I actually do enjoy these. You're not doing too much. We just hear a little screeching noise, and we see a character probably do like a roll or like waddle up, and basically just take a pose. And that's what I like my posters to be. They don't need to be anything extra. Like the Beauty and the Beast posters, they're like rotating, which I didn't understand. It would have been better if they did like the transformations. I don't know if you guys remember the Beauty and the Beast motion pictures, but they were just rotating from left to right. And it would have been better if the voice actor would have just transformed into their teapot or their candlestick character. That would have been a lot better version for the Beauty and the Beast. But for these Transformer one, I enjoyed what they did. They just waddled up and went up. It might have been a little bit better able to transform though from their vehicle forms into their posters. That thing I probably would have liked. That would have been a great little motion picture. But beyond that, I'm going to buy these posters. I'm actually excited that Hot Rod is finally here for Transformers. And hopefully this one is much better than Transformers 4? this one has to be better than Transformers 4. Hopefully. With that being said, that's all we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, stay lost. Lost Culture. As always, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe. Now here goes our previous video, and here goes a recommended video. And as always, don't forget to stop by our site to pick up one of our Lost Culture t-shirts. And as always, stay lost.